Prynhawn da pawb, fy enw i yw Owain Wright. Rydw i'n gweithio i dîm Hwb yn Llywodraeth Cymru. Diolch am ymuno â ni heddiw. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Owain Wright. I work for the Hwb team at Welsh Government. Thank you all for joining us today. Croeso cynnes i chi gyd i Hwb yn gyflwyno. Ein cyfres newydd o ddigwyddiadau lle rydyn ni'n gwahodd arweinwyr mewn addysg ddigidol i siarad ag athrawon yng Nghymru am yr adnodau a'r cyfleoedd sydd ar gael drwy Hwb. A warm welcome to you all to Hwb Presents, our new series of events where we invite leaders in digital education to talk directly to teachers in Wales about the tools and opportunities that are available to you through Hwb. Rydyn ni'n falch iawn o croesawu Jess Timon Marsh o Google heddiw fel ein siaradwr Hwb yn gyflwyno cyntaf i dynnu sylw at rai o'r adnoddau a'r cyfleoedd sydd ar gael i ysgolion yng Nghymru trwy Google. We're really delighted to welcome Jess Timon Marsh from Google today as our first Hwb Present speaker to highlight some of the tools and opportunities available to schools in Wales through Google. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Jess to introduce herself and to take us through Hwb Presents Google for Education. Diolch.
Thank you so much, Owain. So I'm Jess Timon Marsh, or just Jess is totally fine. I'm an educator of 18 years now in international education. I've started in the US and in my own primary classroom, and I've come across to Europe 12 years ago, teaching in international schools in Italy, Germany, and now here in England. I'm coming to you from the London office, the Google office here. I've been with the Google team about 2 years now, working on adoption programs, and it's been a pleasure working with the Hwb team. Thank you so much for having me. We're going to dive in to the hot topic these days, AI, and what that means for the future of education. Really exciting times. I'm going to start with our principles for, in general, Google has principles related to AI and has been working in AI for years. And our first objective is that it is socially beneficial. So you can see those values coming through here in now how they've been applied to education. So basically, we're being very mindful here before we just launch AI out into these new features that are coming. But I also want to show you how AI has been integrated in the products you're familiar with and have been using for years as well. So don't worry, it's nothing to be scared of. And it actually has been helping us do some amazing things, both as teachers and just as humans. So this is kind of a TLDR. The goal is making that AI helpful for everyone. And I'll go into more both how it helps students and teachers or learners. Here's a quote, basically reinforcing that it is revolutionary, but it's been in this quiet background. So here are some tools that you'll have seen in your Hwb accounts. Of course, Chrome and Chromebooks. Perhaps some of you have. We have docs using some really cool features. I'm going to show a bit of live demos in just a little bit. Any Google Classroom users out there, please let us know. And I know we're not supposed to play favorites, but my favorite app for sure, just as it's our kind of learning hub where we can integrate all of the other great tools. And as we are using Meet, that AI speech to text is something that you'll see happening there. Google Lens is, if any of you know of this piece, if you have Android devices, you can go out in your garden, that's what I use it for, and scan my plants to find out what's there. And of course, students are using it for homework help too. YouTube and search are also using AI to bring users the best possible content. So those are all just a few examples about how we're using it, and also to address accessibility needs, which is something I'll show a bit more of as well. So we've recently had a Future of Education report done, and it has a few different pillars. The two that I'd like to really focus on are the elevating the teacher and making learning more personal for the learners. So these are kind of the little building blocks of the presentation and how you could even get started today using your Hub accounts. So one thing we always hear as a pain point from teachers is that there's no time, right? That workload. So how to manage that is not only AI, but technology in general can help with this so much that actually a report found 20 to 40% of teacher tasks could be outsourced or automated using technology. So do some maths there to determine what that really, that impact could be for you. Here's an example of one quick way. This is something newer in Google Docs. So custom building blocks there of saving kind of your lesson plan template, for example, and the next time you want to do a lesson plan, you literally just use the @ symbol, which is a really powerful thing in Google Docs, and you have that template ready to go for the next time. Some of the other things we are seeing teachers live or work smarter, not harder, I'd say, by using comment banks like this. And of course, AI automatically detects when you start to type the comment and will complete, that's the one you're looking for, and it gives you that. And then of course you can still personalize it. If any of you have Chromebooks, this is a native app where you can capture that feedback or the lessons that you're trying to teach, or even have students share their work, all using this all in one easy place, and it's all in the cloud, so you don't have to worry about the downloading and the uploading of files too. And I'll jump into some more of these little live demos in a minute, but if there are any Sheets users out there, let me know. I think they're very useful, but I'm not one that's super confident. So the Explore button has been using AI. It's been moved around recently, but it's still there, and it's showing amazing shortcuts to help you. And if anyone is using Google Classroom Originality reports, having those assignments that are submitted, both not only checked for plagiarism as a teacher, but as a learner, they can submit their work to check to see if they have done the right kind of citations, and then go back and edit it before they submit their final work. So I will be sharing these slides afterwards. It'll be in the Hub portal, so don't worry about screenshotting or anything. You can, and this video will live live on YouTube as well. So this will all be available to you. So don't worry about trying to capture it. So these are also something that you could share with others at your school if you'd like to go over the tools that exist in the Workspace suite. These are core tools, I think, for any kind of education experience. We use all of these at Google as an integrated organization as well, constantly saving so many emails by using Google Chat instead, for example. And calendar really runs my life. I don't know what I would do without my calendar and my reminders, and how it's integrated with tasks now is super efficient. I'm just going to jump through so I can spend more time on the live demos, but basically having everything, all of your files, you can search for them in Google Drive. You can search by file type, which is super handy. You can search by owner. So also, if you're using Classroom, they should all be in one folder in Classroom or in your Google Drive too. I have some sites to show you and a lovely, some resources that some educators have given me permission to share with you on all of these amazing things. So I will jump out to them now, as this is kind of our core suite of tools that hopefully you're familiar with. If not, we have tons of resources and training as well for you to get stuck in and try these out even more. So let me jump over here to a sample escape room for, this is all made in Google Sites by the lovely Chanel. Shout out to Chanel McCrink from Northern Ireland. And what she's done here is a locks and codes piece here using some cool symbols and integrated videos, integrating a form, images, so you can see this is the user interface is quite simple to create something like this. And I have a ton of resources that you can also make copies of yourselves. Again, all of these will be shared afterwards, so don't worry about grabbing the links now. But let me show you a little bit of the magic of docs. So what I've done here is put in today's date, again, using just that @ symbol, or sorry, I did that yesterday, so there we go, I'll update that. I put in my presentation there as a smart chip, and some of the other lovely things with that powerful @ symbol. You'll see drop downs, a stopwatch. So I should start to time myself here to make sure I don't go over. And there's also a timer, so you can actually set it for a certain time. You know, if you just want it for 1 minute or 30 seconds, you can see, and I'll show you an example in a moment of how you can help students to manage their time right there in Docs. Voting chips, so many amazing things. Even I use this all the time for meeting notes as well, which can also be transcribed. So yeah, just amazing things. So this is an example of like how when you pop in a Google file link, it can be quite long and cumbersome. But now if you just click on it and kind of let it, your mouse hover over it for a moment, you'll have an option to replace the URL in either the chip or a link. So that's how I made that chip up here, was literally just making that smart chip. And the doc that is mentioned there are the bit.lys if you're really keen to go and check them out. And again, this is Chanel's lovely example of something she's done and created. This is a video here that can be played right within Google Docs. And the checklist features and the drop-down features. And you can modify any of these, adding them, changing the colors. So this is all up to you. When you do use these templates, it will force you to make a copy, which is another cool thing you can do with Google Files. And you can share them. Please share. And she's very welcome, or she's very happy for you to do that. The form that I wanted to show you here is just another great example of the new features where you can choose different text in Google Forms. You can put in multiple photos, and this is an escape form. You can see the theme that she's done here. A wonderful, engaging way to let the learners guide their own learning, but have those structured, tasks along the way. And the final bit I'll share for this piece in terms of like the teacher side is sheets. So as I said, that explore button is down here. Sometimes it's made smaller. You just have to click on it to expand. It should pop up and in color when you select all of the cells, as I just use the keyboard shortcut, Control-A. Definitely use keyboard shortcuts if you're not already using them. And you can see some sample ideas that have popped up. So for example, if I'd like to see the correlation of the behavior points with the science scores, it'll give me this chart, and I can insert the chart, or I can also go and look at the formula for how that configured that and edit it as needed. You can also drag over formulas. Let me show you that on this sheet, for example. So say you can actually type in here and say, I'll use this example of what's the average mathematics score. Again, so 54 is the answer. I can drag that into wherever I might want it to be in the sheet, and I can also go ahead and edit that, or I can replicate it for the other cells. So that makes sheets totally manageable to me. The thing kind of transitioning to the student side here, but just wanted to finish sharing this lovely example of Chanel's as well, is how you can use Jamboard. The links here are, plot your adventure, marking your places here. So super easy to use. Here I am in the UK. And of course, there's the AI features in Jamboard of the auto draw if you're using the actual Jamboard app. So definitely look at those if you have like a tablet. And there's always Chanel is a primary teacher, but this I think is quite fun for anyone, right? So when you send this through Google Classroom, each student will have their own copy, just like these forced copy links, force you to make a copy. Basically, that's what Google Classroom is doing for you when they're distributing it to your students. So you can also have all of the students work together on that one Jamboard if you wanted them to create something collectively, or you can assign in small groups so that different groups have those different tasks. I know this is kind of a whistle-stop tour of these various features, so please do let me know if you have any questions, and I will do my best to answer them. So as I said, shifting over to the student view of what we're doing with our tools to both make it adaptive and personalized and also accessible for the learners is basically, we want to help them be efficient and effective and scaffold them in doing that. So Chromebooks have built-in accessibility tools, and those are in the tray at the bottom. You can be voice typing, speech to text, changing the overlay for the coloring if that's preferable. And what's coming soon to all Chrome users, so even if you don't have Chromebooks but you use the Chrome browser, reading mode will be in the side panel like this. You can switch back and forth between dark or light and have that integrated reading support. Also, one of the features of our Future of Education report is about problem solving and how we help each learner do that in their own way. So why not give them the tools like this Google Lens, for example, figuring out quadratic formulas, and like I use it to figure out my garden plants and identify those. You can use it for tricky maths too. There's the link for the Google for Education UK and Ireland report. Let me just put that here as well for you, so you can take that link away. And I thought this link, this quote from the Future of Education report was really powerful, that education should be personalized. And, how are we doing that? Technology can help us do that because we can't be in 30 different places at once, right? So that's how some of the best case uses we've seen with the tools are when students are using these one-to-one and the teacher is maybe working with a small group or, working with one student while the others are utilizing devices to get started or doing a project with using the device as a tool to do research, for example. So let's dig into the learner piece a bit more. And we have, of course, Google Classroom again as that central hub. And there is a setting where you can have it collaborative so they can post and chat with each other as well. Or you can even make that an option for certain assignments. Lots of schools still using Meet, even in a to use the emojis and responses when someone's presenting, for example, to have that interaction, but without having it be too disruptive. And we just saw our lovely interactive whiteboard in Jamboard. Really love the idea of starting students even at a younger age with Google Classroom and tool built, I guess, of lifelong learning skills, how you manage time. And actually all of this is linked up through Classroom. So your class calendar is visible. And your Google Meet is all there present in your Google Classroom if you want it to be. Again, it's all possible for you to personalize it. Again, there's those kind of core tools that students are using and creating themselves in many different ways. One that I have to show you is some Google Sites from our lovely friend Gavin, who has made this entire site, and again, we'll share these links out too, of how to make digital portfolios or e-portfolios, and even has awesome translated materials. And this is something we've seen done globally. I think it's super powerful. It's students creating their own sites to showcase their work, and they can be protected within your domain. So you can make it just for your school or your hub organization to be able to see and search for these, or you can make them public to the world. So that's all, again, completely optional. And I'll show you his example that he has also kindly shared. Thank you so much, Gavin, of what I think this is the year 5, example of a reflection. So powerful. And showing how, like, for example, here is where that file is probably locked down for the domain. That's why I can't see it, because it's, private, which is great. And you can see how, again, as you saw in the other examples, you can integrate pictures, video, and much, much more, having those multiple links. And imagine the, again, lifelong learning skills of how this benefits children in today's age. Let me jump back here. So basically, Google for Education believes that advances in technology can help create a future in which learning is personal, flexible, and accessible, and giving teachers time back. So some more offerings from us, this is kind of core work for me, include this page. So please do check this out. It is, I didn't share back here, did I? Here we go. That was the quote that I read. And basically, thinking towards the future, again, that this is coming from our Future of Education report. And this is the site and the link that you can see there in the ticker. The site is spread into, and it's a Google site, of course, into different sections there, with our reference schools highlighted of places you can go and see these solutions seamlessly working together. Live lessons like this that we will have listed in the virtual lessons page. And then some resources like amazing curriculum support and other products by Google like CS First and Applied Digital Skills, just to help you with that lesson planning, and on digital citizenship, Be Internet Legends, for example, or Be Internet Awesome, if you've heard of that. So all of those great things linked in resources. And the one that is specific for Wales is here, this bit.ly link. that you can also just go to the g.co/edu/UKI and click on the the Wales map there to get to here, and you'll see resources for your region, which include our lovely Gig Cymru, which is our community. We have these Google Educator groups all over the world. This Google Educator group has some awesome people in Wales and on the ground. So if you want to get connected with those around you, get advice, support, please reach out. And there's the link there. You can also Google it or find them on Twitter and join in. You can also just kind of follow along and see the resources that are shared on the sites as well. If you're not ready to get social yet, that's okay too. In a similar fashion, this is kind of a watch this space. We have a community of practice coming, and we will launch this in the new academic year. And it's our community within the Hub space. So you'll be able to use your account to join this space and get all of these lovely resources, links, and hear from other Hub users and chat with them in a Google chat space. So really excited for this. And just to kind of bring things all together, we know that there's sometimes this fear about technology, and especially with AI, that pressure that teachers might feel. And I love this quote about it is not ever going to replace the teacher and the empathy and the care that teachers show their learners, but it can be transformational in both the teachers and the learners' lives. So I hope that you get started with a few of these little tricks and tips, play around, have fun with it. And if you'd love to dig into the research side of things or even get more ideas for what this could look like in terms of the future of education, this has the report for not just UK and Ireland, that as I shared earlier, this is our global page about the future of education. It has those kind of 5 themes that we've laid out and digs into it much more than I have here today. And we also have another session coming up for the 10th of July at 4:00. Please do come along and learn more about some of the features, like the teaching and learning upgrade features particularly is what we'll focus on. So if you want to do more of a deep dive, we'll go in Google Meet, and this link here will take you to that calendar link. So thank you again, Hub, for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, Jess. Roedd yn gwych. Thank you. That was really great. We are really looking forward to some of the future bits and pieces you've just talked about there. So the community of practice is going to be an area that we will work together on and make sure that as many practitioners and teachers across Wales can benefit from the peer support and that collaborative community that we're hoping to foster there. And as Jess said as well, we would really encourage you to come and join us on the 10th of July, where you can hear a bit more about teaching and learning licence upgrades. Gobeithio eich bod wedi mwynhau'r sesiwn Hub yn gyflwyno Google for Education heddiw. Cadwch lygaid am ragor o digwyddiadau Hub yn gyflwyno yn y flwyddyn academaidd newydd. Cadwch lygaid am wybodaeth am y rhain ar Hub and ein sianeli social media. Rannwch nhw gyda'ch gydweithio os gwelwch yn dda. We really hope you enjoyed this Hub Presents Google for Education session. Look out for further Hub Presents events in the new academic year. We hope to bring you a lot more exciting speakers and experts over the next academic year and beyond. So look out for information on those on Hub and our social media channels. Please do share them with colleagues. And if you have enjoyed today, please encourage them to attend. As Jess has mentioned, bydd y recordiad a sleidiau ar gael ar Hub yn fuan. The recording of the session and the slides will be available on Hub soon. Os hoffech chi gysylltu â ni, dyma'r details ar screen. If you'd like to keep in touch with us, please use the details on the screen. Very happy for you to email that email address, ask for me. That's not a problem. So you've got a name and a face. So just diolch eto I Jess a Google. Diolch am eich amser I gyd y prynhawn yma. Gobeithio byddwn ni'n gweld chi ar gyfer Hub yn gyflwyno tro nesa. Thank you again to Jess and Google. Thank you all for your time this afternoon as well. We hope to see you next time at our next Hub Presents event. Have a good evening. Hwyl fawr. Diolch.
Diolch.